Dan and I were in this Toastmaster group, and I'm 17 years older than him. We would be the unlikeliest of friends, but Dan is so emotionally intelligent, so mature, so unique, so deep. So we just started to talk and we really got along. And we were both on the board of directors in our group, and he was doing Landmark. Have you ever maybe heard of or done
I
Landmark?
have so many friends that have done Landmark, and
Yes.
they all tell me that that's what's missing in my life. Like it's they all swear by it. It was life-changing for all of them. I looked into it. I almost did it a few times. Then by the time I was going to do it was the pandemic. So the option was only online. And
Yeah.
for me, the big thing is networking, meeting people. So to do it online wouldn't have been what I was looking for once
Right.
that became the
And
thing.
to do it online doesn't capture the experience of it. And I had went through the forum, and for me, it was sort of like a very powerful experience, one and done. And I was out, I'm glad that I did it. Dan was more involved in it, and he was doing the senior project, and you had to do a senior leadership project, and so something of value in the community. And he asked a bunch of his friends, and they had all kind of said no. And he came to me and he said, "I'm kind of shy to ask you this, but would you do this with me?" I said, "Okay, listen, you need to know we're going to have 12 people in the library, but if you're okay with that, I'm willing to do this with you." And he said, "Okay." So we were trying to come up with an idea. So we started going to events in the city. We went to all kinds of speaking events or personal development events. And we were sitting at an actual speaking event, and he turned to me and he said, "We should do a competition," because we both competed at Toastmasters. And I said, "Oh my God, Speaker Slam." And from that day forward, Joelle, it just caught on fire. We just, our very first event, speaking of Canadian Idol, I got Farley Flex as a judge.
Nice.
And I'm very good at leveraging. So I kind of got Farley in, and because of him, I could get some other judges, and then I could sell to the speakers that I had these great judges, and then I could sell to the audience. I had these great speakers. So on the opening night, we had like 100 people at Revival nightclub, and it's just snowballed from there.
And you mentioned that almost right away, you just said out loud, how about Speaker Slam? Where does the name come from? Is that a play on Poetry Slam? Where does that come from?
It was a play on Poetry Slam, because I'd heard of poetry slams, and because this was going to be a speaking competition, it just made the perfect sense, Speaker Slam. And it's just, you'll often see my partner up there on stage. He always yells out "speaker," and the audience yells out "slam," and he does it over and over. It's so catchy. And I'm so happy with that name. It's really served us over the years.
And what skills does Dan bring to the table that complement your skills? You mentioned, one skill already. When you think of Dan, what does he bring to the table?
Okay, so many people are jealous of our partnership because we really struck gold with each other. And I always joke, everybody needs a Dan, because often when you're an entrepreneur,
Sorry, that should be a t-shirt that you sell at
I
Speaker
know.
Slam. Everybody needs a Dan. Yeah.
And since I've made those posts, people come up to me and they often say, "I need a Dan. I need a Dan." Like, everybody needs a Dan, because it's easy as an entrepreneur to have ideas or dreams. We all do. We all have all these big pipe dreams, but you can't do anything with those unless you can execute on them. So in our partnership, I dream, he executes. I dream, he executes. And he's very process oriented. So from the very beginning, he was great with video, the audio, producing the events, creating our website, our back end. And to this day, like if we're creating a boot camp, I'm doing the content, I'm running it. He's in the back creating the Zoom setup, he's zapping everything. I don't even know what he does. He zaps things to charts. He does everything. He makes sure all the emails and sequences goes out, like all the important things that keep a business running. And then I get to just dream these amazing dreams, like the Momentum Conference. Like, I can put that out there, and he's already back there with the video team and the audio team, and he's dealing with the theater, and like we can come together and just shine. So it's been literally magic since the day we started working together.
And how long did it take from that moment where you yell out, "How about Speaker Slam," to that first event where you said there was about 100 people? What was that period of time? How long did it take to execute on that first vision?
I want to say 3 months.
Whoa.
In 3 months, we had the venue, we had everything set up, we had a logo made. And at the time, Dan thought we were just going to do this one-off event. And when it was finished, it was such a success. I was like, okay, we're going to do this monthly. And he was like, wow, right? So okay, let's see what happens. And we started going monthly. And I think a couple of years in, maybe 2 years in, we quit our day jobs. We both had these jobs. He worked in business systems and a business analyst, and I was an operations manager at a digital recruitment firm. And we both sort of like burnt our boat, that Anthony Robbins quote, we just burnt our boat and burned our boats, and we were just all in. So that was an exciting time.